Good morning. Today we're doing subtraction of real numbers. This is where it starts to get a little dicey. Yeah, so let's get started on that. Okay, subtraction can always be rewritten as addition. So it's the same thing as saying 3 minus 2 equals 1. It's the same thing as saying 3 plus a negative 2. Now, in this situation, you understand subtraction of positive numbers. That's actually really easy. You don't have to do it that way. But the concept is we will use it in other situations. So let's see how this works on a number line. Hi, I'm trying not to do you out of the screen here. Okay, so if I have a number line, I have 0. Remember we said when you're adding, if I add 3, so I start off with 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's my dot at 3. And I'm going to add a negative 2, so now I go in the negative direction 2 units. 1, 2. Here I am back down at, a positive 1. Okay, that's your number line process. This gives the rule of subtracting integers. To subtract two integers, add the opposite of the second integer to the first. Okay, so it gets a little dicey here. Now look at this first one. Negative 3 minus a minus 5. I think that's very confusing. I just remember that when I am subtracting, okay, first thing I'm going to do is show you a helpful little thing is when you've got a minus and a negative, put the negative up high so you see it as something different. When I am subtracting, I am actually adding the opposite. So now I have negative 3 plus a positive 5. Okay, so on a number line, if this is 0, I have a negative 3 and I'm going in the positive direction because I'm adding it, 5, and I got a 2. So that means this is 2. Okay? All right. So negative 7 minus negative 5 is plus a positive. So negative 7. That's the same thing as 5 minus 7. And it's not negative, it's negative 2. Sorry about that. Good thing I caught it. Yeah, see, now, if this was an in-person class, I would expect you to then be like, Mrs. Cronquist, no, it's not negative 7, it's negative 2. Mrs. Cronquist, I don't think that's right. Something. And then that, helps me know when I've made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Mistakes does not mean you're not smart. It just means you made a mistake. It's not a big deal. Once you know it's there, you go figure out what you did wrong and fix it. That's all there is to it. All right, a negative 1 minus 2, well, that's a plus a negative. So negative 1 plus negative 2 is negative 3. Pretty straightforward. All right, 8 minus 10. Well, you know what that is. That's going to be negative 2. But if you wanted to do a plus a negative, that works too. Your choice. Oh, I was working in blue. All right, what makes example 4 an integer problem? Because it's a subtraction. We are taking 10 out of 8, or if put in terms of a checking account, we have $8 in our account and we wrote a $10 check. Remember, when the first term of your subtraction is smaller than the second, you have an integer problem. Okay, so 13 minus a negative 2. Well, plus a positive, so that gives me 13 plus 2, which is 15. 12 minus 34. You should know what that is. Okay, so you take the 34, subtract 12, and give it a negative. Negative 22. Okay, remember what you've done is gone 12 units this way. I'm not counting them. And then 34 units in the negative direction. So I'm going to do 12, but then I have another 22. Well, we've run off the board. But you get the idea. Okay, so that's why it's a negative 22. All right, what if you have more than one subtraction? Work through your problem moving left to right, rewriting every subtraction as an addition as you move along. Okay, because this gets confusing, doesn't it? So, -1, well, that becomes plus a positive, so plus 2, and then that's plus 5. No, plus a -5. All right, so I add my two negatives together. I get -6 plus 2, which is -4. All right, -3, not 3, 2. Sorry. Okay, -2 plus a -3, and this becomes plus a positive, so plus 15. So I add those two together and I get -5. Add 15, I'm going to get a positive 10. All right, -4 minus a -3 becomes plus a positive plus a -3. So I add the two negatives. I end up with 3 minus 7, or -4. All right, now we're going to do it with fractions and decimals. Okay, so plus a positive. So this is going to be really 12.6 minus 3.4. 12 minus 3 is 9. 6 minus 4 is 2. Since both the number 3 and 4 are smaller than the 12 and the 6, I can do that. All right, 1/5 minus a 1/3. Well, first we have to do a common denominator. So 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to have a -3 over 15 plus a -5 over 15. -3 plus -5 is a -8 over 15. Okay, hopefully you're starting to get the hang on this. All right, simplifying algebraic expressions. The same procedure can be used to simplify certain expressions. 3 plus 2x minus 6. Well, we're going to put those two together. 3, and it's a -4. X. Okay. All right, now we're going to put all our y's together. I have a -4 plus a -3 plus a -2. Well, it's a bunch of negatives, so that's 4 and 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So I have -9y, and I really only have, the only one constant is the -2, so it's still there. All right, temperature change. Rashan flew from his New York home to Hawaii for a week of vacation. Well, isn't he lucky? He left blizzard conditions and a temperature of -6 degrees. Wow. And stepped off the airplane into 85-degree weather. What temperature change did he experience? Well, it's -6. No, actually, it'll make more sense doing it a different way. Hang on. Whoops. Got to rest. There we go. Okay. Temperature change. His current temperature was 85, and we subtract his previous temperature. Well, that becomes plus a positive, sorry. So I end up with a 91-degree temperature change. Okay, and we are done with number 5.